I've recently been thinking about meaning, and by recently, I mean I only thought about yesterday. So I was just like passing by a bush of just a bush, I don't know the name, like, okay, so it was just a bush, and because it's summer right now, every leaf on there is green. So it's perfect, it's green, it's lively, and there's one leaf that was dead. That was not as pretty as all of them, one might say. It was dead. It was yellow. It was almost like dark orange or something. And I was thinking, it's meaningless. You know, I could just like rip it off and like throw it out and it won't mean anything. But at the same time, if I were walking with my friend and they would like give it to me and like we would joke about it, it would become a memory. Like that leaf would become a part of memory, right? It would. Because there are so many things, for example, that I have in my like memory box that are just literally garbage. Or for example, when you do junk journaling, you literally put garbage on pages just to remember things. So it's one of those things, you know? And it will become a moment, right? But if I would be going out with a friend with whom I won't be meeting for a few couple years because they are moving to another continent and another country, or I'm moving somewhere far along and I'm not gonna be able to make it at least for 2 years here, that leaf would become priceless. Because it's like, it reminds about our last hangout, and it was like 2 years ago, and it's so priceless. It has so much meaning, right? And I thought of it, and I'm like, so funny how a leaf, entirely worthless thing if you ask me. It just, there's so many leaves, and I'm looking right now at the tree, and there are probably 1,000 at least leaves, and they don't mean anything to me. I have no history with them. I have no, like, nothing. I could pull one out, pull another, and they don't mean anything to me. They literally don't. And they don't mean anything to you. And every, like, grass leaf or whatever they call, they don't mean anything to you, right? But if someone would create a memory with you, with it, you would put it in that box and you would cherish it and you would think about it. You might even cry about it when you see it and you're like, oh my God, I remember how nice it was going out with that person, and so on and so forth. I thought about it yesterday. I even took a photo of that leaf. I can show it to you because I think I'm too lazy to like put it in. Okay, so here's the photo of the leaf, right? It is in my back pocket somewhere. I thought about it. I told a friend about my thinking about like meaning and how we give things meaning, and I couldn't come to a conclusion, and I still can't about this, but I have somewhat kind of conclusion. But the question I have is, mini conclusion from this story is that everything is meaningless and everything is meaningful. Like when we talk about materialistic things, everything has a price, set price. For example, apples cost that much, phone costs that much, apartment costs that much, averagely. Or if you want to be specific, it has a set price also. But I could even buy something materialistic and it won't mean anything to me. Like the most expensive thing, or like, I don't know, a very nice house or something. And it could be meaningless to me. It's just an empty house for which I have to order some furniture, which I have to renovate. It's just nothing. It feels like nothing. And there could be just a room, dorm room in university that had so many memories and so many amazing situations happen there that is just priceless for you. It's much more cheaper than that big house that you would buy. Like the price for the house is bigger and it's more expensive, but it doesn't make it more valuable. Doesn't give it more meaning. What gives things meaning is memories that we have with it. So basically people give meanings to the things that you have. So for example, right now, I'm looking at these things, for example, my table right now, and I I see basic regular things, right? Just like perfume and like all these things, and I don't have any connection to anyone from these things, you know. I have books here, and I see books that I were gifted, by whom I were gifted, and they're more like they mean for me more, to me more. And for example, I have perfume that someone gifted me, but these things don't really mean much, even though they are more expensive, like for example a piece of paper. If you're confused about what I'm saying, it's okay, because this is all, it's still happening in my head. I'm still thinking of it as I'm talking to you. So basically what I mean to say about the story of Leaf is that we create meaning, as you understand. But also my question is, to create that memory or like importance of that leaf, you have to have at least two people. So me, for example, and my friend. Like between us, that situation that would happen between us with that leaf would create for me the meaning of that leaf, that would increase the meaning of that leaf for me. If I were just alone, I don't know how that would happen. I would just like pick out this leaf and I'm just like, okay, you're important for me. And what I was thinking of today is like, do we need multiple people to make something valuable? For example, art. Because my first thought was that, no. Like when I was telling my friend this thing that I came up with and like thing that I thought of, I said that we give things meaning. Like if you create something, you give it meaning. So for example, there are so many artists that while they were alive, no one really appreciated the art, would say that they're weird, and artists themselves didn't like their art. I don't know, I'm always confusing names of artists, so I'm not gonna say because that would probably be wrong. And the guy who painted 1001 Night or Mona Lisa, I hope it was the same person who did that, because if I'm just like, sorry if I'm saying it wrong, the importance here is not on my artistic knowledge. He didn't like the word that he did. You know, he was called crazy, and like he didn't like what he did, and society supported him with his belief. They're like, yeah, you're worthless, that's nothing, that's just a piece of crap, that's not art, you just like, I don't even know what they were saying because I wasn't born yet then. And so he decided he gave meaning to his art that is meaningless. Fast forward a couple hundred years, or like a couple decades, and people, when they go to Paris, deliberately go out of their way and go stand in multiple hour line to see the painting Mona Lisa that the artist himself thought was worthless. He died, and someone gave it meaning. Someone thought like, yeah, that's great. Another person thought, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. And it's just, now there's so many fans and there's so many people like thinking about this painting, try to repaint it, just find some hidden clues in this painting. He was just like, it's worthless. But he's the one who gives meaning to his art. I could paint a picture and say that it's worthless, but I also could paint a picture and say, yeah, I put everything into it, and not focus on the results that are gonna give. Because back then, I feel like what supported his belief that his work was worthless is that society was telling him too. Like, that is nothing. That is like, you know, if society back then was telling him, dude, that's amazing, you are genius. If they would constantly praise him, I think he would grow to be narcissistic a little bit, and he like, yeah, great, and he would just honestly paint something so easy, just for society to again tell him that. But he didn't have that, and he still kept painting, and he still kept thinking that it was meaningless. But for some reason, he kept painting, right? He painted so many things. Beside the Mona Lisa, there were so many beautiful paintings. And he kept, because he liked doing that. At the same time, he didn't give meaning to his art, but he also didn't give up. because I don't know why. Maybe he liked it. Maybe he couldn't live without it. Maybe he didn't know what else to do. I don't know if he was really getting a lot of money from it, because as I remember, he only sold like 2 paintings during his life. But what I'm talking about, why I'm making this so complicated, is that we're the ones that give meaning to our art and like art sense, and give meaning to things in our life. So if I were again to, let's say, write a song, and I would be expecting society to tell me it's meaningful, I don't know, that wouldn't be a good strategy, you know? Because it's art. It's subjective. Everyone see in it what they want. So for example, you release a song and a person could hear it and they're like, not my style. Like you release a pop song and the first person who listened to it listens to rock and they're like, yeah, that's crap. And you're like, yeah, that's crap. What about if you were release a song and someone that likes that genre of song would say, it's beautiful. You're like, yeah, it's beautiful. So you're not giving the meaning to your own things. You're waiting for other people to give meaning to them for you to then confirm or deny. Because what if I'm gonna say that this song is beautiful, that the song that I wrote is beautiful, and then people will say that it's not? Nothing. It's just their opinion. I put my soul, sweat, heart into that song, and if you think it's not beautiful, okay, I think it is. You have to give meaning to the thing before other people will say that it is the way it is, and you're like, yeah, okay, it is the way it is because you said so. To not get into this like train of what do you think of it, rate my art, or like rate me from 1 to 10. You have to first come up with your own thought and your own feeling. What do you feel about this art? How does it make you feel? Not like how does it make you feel, but like, do you like it? Make yourself like it. Because if you don't, well, there's nothing much you can do. You know, or like, don't make yourself like it, just like keep on going. Because there are so many things that I create that I don't like. And I'm not sure if like finding amazing thing in every one of them is a good thing. I think it's a good thing, but I'm not sure if that's a realistic thing. I know it's not about that. This video is not about that. So we give meaning to things, right? But do we actually? Or do we need two people to give meaning to the thing? What if, for example, my crush would post a story and there was a song and he rarely posted something, and when he posted, I'm like, okay, I'm opening up. And there's this song that I didn't really care about. For 10 years, I listened to that song. I somehow heard it somewhere, but I didn't really give much attention to it. And now I know that the person that I like likes this song, and I'm just like, in my head, it became so special. Like, that artist is not ordinary anymore. They are special in my head. This song associates with him. And it only took one person. It took me and my fantasy and my insane something to make this song special, even though I didn't need other person to tell me make it special. Maybe he chose it from recommended songs, and it's not special for him. And now I made myself, like, I made it special for me. So kind of illusion, you know, but the same illusion is like, we're going to sleep pretending that we're sleeping. I just close my eyes and I hope that I will go to sleep. So why not pretend that you like your own art? So why not pretend that this thing has a meaning? That what you do has a meaning, and even if you don't feel like it, why not pretend? Why not do what you do when you go every night to sleep? Why not pretend? Because if you're gonna depress yourself even more with like, oh, it's worthless, and like be this person always complaining, it won't do anything to you. For you, it's not gonna do anything for you positively. Negatively, woo! It will do a lot of things. Oh, I think it was way too loud because my ratio just like went up. And sometimes I feel like that too. Like what I do is meaningless. because I don't get as much feedback as I have written in my head. So I don't have as much support as I like it to have, or as I imagine myself to have. So I'm like, okay, if my art doesn't receive that amount of likes, it's meaningless. But what I forget is I am the person who give meaning to everything in my life, including art, including people. I could get out of my way to understand a person, or I could get out of my way to find negative things about them and make that person meaningless in my eyes, or make them meaningful in my eyes. So I'm the person who does that. And you're also the person who do it. I don't know if you understood a lot, but I was like pondering in my head all this time, and hopefully it will make sense. Hopefully it will. Yeah. I'll put like a suspicious music at the end, but I don't want to. Also, my camera is like at 1%, so I'm gonna hug you now because that is tradition, and if hugging makes you uncomfortable, well, turn off the video now. Okay. Have a lot to think about. Hopefully, you also. Bye.